Welcome to Money Matters, the podcast that focuses on how to use the money you have, make the money you need, and save the money you want. Now, here is your host, Miss Kim Chapman.
If you're like most people, you probably made some New Year's resolutions. You were going to go ahead and start that fitness goal this year. I know, I did it too. But between the thought that I don't have time, gym memberships are expensive, or that treadmill, I'd love to have it, but that's expensive too. That's what we think, right? And so maybe you've already given up because you believe that there's just not really a solution to your barrier. Well, today we're going to demystify that. Joining me today is a personal trainer who's going to show us how we can reach those fitness goals basically without having to buy expensive equipment, without having to necessarily spend all those monthly fees on the gym membership. So joining me is Keldric Emery, a personal trainer.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Definitely. So, by the time this airs, I know there are going to be a lot of people that were gung-ho in January. I'm going to go to the gym. I bought that equipment, or I'm going to get that equipment, catch it on sale. And by now, it's kind of fizzled down. We found so many different ways or excuses why we can't do it. And sometimes it's just not the lack of motivation. It's just we have these barriers that pop up, right? Life happens, and we feel like we can't overcome them. And then let's just face it, in today's economy, when I do budgets, I'm looking at people, that's kind of like the first thing I'm asking people. Do you have all these subscriptions that you're not using, this gym membership, and we hold on to them because we promise that we're going to go. But it doesn't have to cost anything to achieve those goals, right?
Right. There's ways to do things, to get things done without gym memberships. But one thing I do want to emphasize is the level of doing things as a team, and then also working together with other people, things of that nature, to kind of help keep you accountable in some of those seasons.
Yeah, accountability. I think that's actually why I decided to do this podcast. So I could, have a little accountability, because of course, if you tell me some things that I can do for free, and then by the time I do the next podcast, hopefully somebody will be, is she using them? But let's talk a little bit about your background. Tell me what your level of experience or expertise is as a personal training.
Yeah, so I really started just in high school working out, and also I played sports in high school. So after high school and kind of getting through college, and after that, kind of getting married and realized I kind of wanted to get back into fitness, I went to a gym, and after going to the gym, was not satisfied with the fact that the instructors kept quitting and then kind of moving on to different things. And so I went to the administration to express how disappointed I was that the instructors weren't showing up. And they asked, well, why don't you be an instructor? So I took it on, and then from there on, kind of built up and started working with individuals, as well as getting certified in different things, and then started my own fitness journey. So that's kind of where it started at.
Talk about starting with the man in the mirror. I like that, right? So why do you think so many people believe the myth that you have to go to a gym or you have to have expensive equipment to achieve personal fitness goals?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with media, and as well as sometimes we see people kind of walk into the gym, like the gym being this perfect place, and then you walk out a different way. And sometimes I think we don't see the seasons of all of that, right? Is that you go and you do those things when you feel like it and when you don't. And it's the same no matter where you are regarding working out and exercising. There's a level of consistency that has to happen. You have to be able to be consistent regardless of where you are. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And sometimes I think it's also that a lot of people go into the gym and space out. And when I say space out, I mean they kind of put headphones on and everything is done separately. So when you work together with people and you get a community-based mindset, that helps keep people accountable.
Okay. How often do you actually have people that, walk up and tell you that, hey, I just can't afford a personal trainer, I can't afford a gym membership, I can't afford these things?
That happens quite a bit at the gym and outside of the gym. And I just believe it's the concept that people believe that they need to spend a lot of money on something to make a difference. And so there's a lot of things that we can talk about today and a lot of things that you can do to kind of help you to get you, if not where you exactly need to be, at least get you started
Right.
along a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, because it always starts with that first step, right? Step
Yes.
1, step 2, and 3, but we don't want to get defeated. So what are some of those simple things that we can do at home that don't require us to have that equipment that usually ends up being, a laundry basket or something?
Well, I think a lot of times some of those things can be started just with simple movement. Um, a lot of time I've worked with individuals who have had issues or maybe coming after a surgery and they want to start building themselves back up after that. And just a simple mindset of I'm going to make it from here to the mailbox. Starting with just that mindset, I'm going to walk from here to the mailbox, or I'm going to just get out the bed. So starting with some level of progress and working toward a goal in mind and an achievable goal. I think sometimes we maybe watch TV or we're looking on the socials and we set these unrealistic goals. I've had individuals tell me, I need to lose 75 pounds in a month. And it's just not reasonable. So it's like being able to set achievable goals and then doing it with somebody. I'm big on community. And the reason why I'm so big on it is because it helps accountability. And then it also helps you. There are just studies that show, and that show that when you work together with somebody, it's the same workout, but it just don't feel as like it feels better almost as if you're working, you all are working together with a goal.
I agree with you there because I know when I do my own little workouts, especially when I'm on that expensive equipment that I bought, it's like, oh my God, it's only been 3 minutes. Whereas I think if I had somebody to chit chat with, like you said, had that community, my focus wouldn't be on, oh wow, I'm at 3.5 minutes now with 27 more minutes to go, right? So I
Right.
definitely am
Right.
with you there. So can you tell us just a couple of simple things that people can do at home, and especially if they have limited space?
Right. So, limited space. What I would first say, some of the things that we learned as children, we can even take that all the way back. One of the first things that we learned to do first was a simple, basic squat. You say, "Wait, you're taking me too fast." No, a squat. So, a simple squat in terms of sitting down in a chair and standing up, sitting down in a couch and standing up. Um, Done properly, that can be challenging. And that's something that can really work your body the way that it should work. And so, something as simple as a squat, other free, what we call free weight exercises or exercises that you can do without any kind of weights at all, just any of that. So, something as simple as a squat, different things, raising your arms, moving your arms around. And then I also want to mention that there are tons of resources on things like YouTube that are just free that you can find and use and following a base program almost, or even things you can do to help you your movement going. But if you had a limited amount of space, like I said, something like a squat, and then I also wanted to show, um, I'll take something like a gallon jug, something like of this nature. And so let's say I wanted to work my arms with something like this. What I would do is I would start simply with nothing in it, right?
Okay, an empty jug.
Just an empty jug, right? And so you could take an empty jug and curl, right? And of course, with nothing in it, is no weight. But then you would fill just with a little bit of water, maybe next week. And you would do that again, maybe 10 times on each arm. Or you could take that same squat that I was talking about, like sitting down in a chair and standing up, holding this empty jug. Let's say you would decide that you want to do it 10 times. The next time you would take that same jug with some water in it. And
I can see the difference in just how you pick it up.
right, right. There's a major difference in nothing and something, right? And so adding just a little bit of water, and when you feel like, oh wow, this is just too heavy, I can't lift this. pour some water out, right? And so you're continuing to add more water to it, but you're also building strength. And so this is something simple that, I mean, it costs a gallon of milk, the cost of that, which is about $5 right now.
Actually, you could buy a gallon of water
Well, yeah.
for about $1.
Yeah.
And I actually really like that concept of, like you said, if it's too heavy, if it's too much, because like you said, sometimes we have those unattainable goals. We want to go to the store, or we want to start out with 50 pounds, and then we realize, that's too much, or we injure
Right.
ourselves. Where with this, you can start out empty, you can go up. If something happens and you're like, oh, this is just too much. So I really, really like that. But yes, I see you have the empty milk jug, but
Right.
because we're on a budget and we're trying to do this even cheaper, we're going to go get a 75-cent bottle of water
Yes.
from the dollar store.
That's right. That's true. So yeah, definitely that. And so you could even take different things that maybe not have handles on them like these. And you can take a plastic bag and put them in there. I ran out of them, but I was gonna bring them today, which is a 5-pound bag of like potatoes.
And that's why we need to go to the gym.
So you could take a 5-pound bag of potatoes or anything that has any type of weight to it that you can use to do some of those same exercises, those same type of things, moving your arms around, lifting things above your head, lifting things in different directions, and then the simple sitting down and standing up. Those are simple things that you can do. And let's not forget the altogether something that we do all the time, which is walking.
See, I'm starting to feel a little bad and accountable because I know I have the ability to sit in this chair and get up and walk. So let's talk about walking, what we can do, and how impactful walking can be.
Oh, wow. Walking is so simple, yet a lot of times we take it for granted that, first of all, we have the ability and articulation of our limbs to be able to do that. And then secondly, it's free. I mean, just you walk all the time. You don't think about it. But purposeful walking is what can be so helpful. So if you live in a neighborhood, maybe plot out, a direction that you're going to say, hey, I'm going to start. I might walk 5 houses down, 5 houses back, and then start extending that by going a little bit further. Then you could take and go to different parks around the city, or take different places that are a little bit more challenging. And if you say, well, I'm afraid to do any of that, well, the mall is always open.
See, you're making it seem so simple and so easy. And still at the end of the day, it really is low-cost fitness.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
yes.
go ahead. You were saying the mall.
Yeah, the mall is something like if it's open. And at the job I had, I would always see a lot of people just walking around the mall, not necessarily purchasing anything, but just walking around. So they might walk the mall twice, get back in their car and leave, and their exercise is done for the day. And there's ways to step that up, which is increase the pace that you're doing, swinging your arms, maybe even taking something like a stick or something of that nature and putting it in your hands, and that would help with working your arms at the same time. So there's really a lot of things you can do, and walking can be the fundamental part of that.
Now, I'm going to have to throw in a public service announcement as a financial counselor and say, do not bring your wallets and use this as an excuse to shop. And then you have to come and see me. You've lost the weight, but then your budget has gone through the roof, right?
Right. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit consistency versus intensity.
Oh, well, yeah, consistency always beats out intensity in terms of you just being able to do something over and over again for a long period of time. I will say it's good to be to have some level of intensity, right? Because even if we take walking, for example, if somebody kind of moseying along and just kind of walking and stopping every 2 seconds, there's a difference in that and somebody really focused and saying, I'm gonna keep the same pace. I'm swinging my arms. I'm really walking with intention. But even being consistent at that. So finding so many days a week that you can do this, maybe not start with the concept of every day. Maybe start in your mind saying, hey,
A day.
there you go. A day, a week. I'm going to start let's say your day is Saturday or your day is Sunday or whatever that day may be. Try to be consistent with that day and then add to that. And then also, I'm going to go back to it again, which is accountability and finding somebody to do it with. So you might say, if I want to walk twice a week or 3 times a week, I'm going to walk one day without this individual and then maybe the other 2 days with somebody. And that helps keep you accountable.
So, time wise, because again, it's time, it's money. Can 5 minutes a day help me? 5-minute intervals, right? I feel like if I'm just doing 5 minutes, if I do that 6 times a day, is that the same as doing 30 minutes all at once? Or is
Well,
something better than nothing?
well, something is always better than nothing. Something is always better than nothing. But I would say start small and then gradually continue to add time to it. And what you'll find is that the smaller you start, you'll start to want to go further. The time will pass a whole lot faster. And then there's also ways to distract you from that. So like you were talking about the treadmill earlier, turning on a show or turning on something to distract your mind away from watching every minute of it go by. That is very helpful, especially when you're walking or running or anything of that nature. But watching the clock that's just hard.
It's like watching paint dry.
That's right.
I've been
That's
there.
right. Yes, very much so. So yeah, I would say be consistent. In terms of time frame, I would just start small and then continue to add to that. So start maybe 5 minutes. The next time you go, maybe do the 5 minutes again, and then maybe try to add that up to maybe 7 minutes or 10 minutes. And you'll find you'll be at 15, 20, 30 minutes before you know it.
And I know this is probably a lot of what you're saying is geared probably for those of us that struggle to start and, we stop. Or are there any free tips and tools that you would give for somebody that may be advanced? Maybe they're paying for their gym membership, but looking at their budget, maybe they want to let it go, but they're afraid that if I don't have this gym equipment, if I don't have this resource, there's not going to be a tool out there for me.
Yeah, well, there are always tools. This is the day. I often tell my kids, this is the day of knowledge and information it's everywhere. So, like I mentioned YouTube, but then there's other different things like Apple TV, just all kind of different tools and things that you can use to find a way to work out. And then at some point, if you feel like you've kind of plateaued, and what that means is you've gotten to a place to where you feel like, man, I am just so good at what I'm doing. I don't feel like I'm getting a workout. That's when you maybe need to contact a personal trainer or even trying to maybe look at something online or finding somebody somewhere to kind of help advance you to a level. Because in my opinion, you'll get to a place to where we constantly need to be challenged.
Mhm.
And that sometimes takes a person to help you do.
And so for those that, again, that maybe they just fell off the wagon, maybe finances have absolutely nothing to do with it. They just need that motivation. How do you as a personal trainer keep your clients motivated?
Yeah, so I try to help them set goals, a certain goal that they could think about or look to, whether it be for a lady, it might be a dress that you want to get into, or an outfit, or a lot of times with the people that I work with, we also talk about summer bodies being built in the winter. So I try to remind them that you're not gonna get the summer body in the summer. You have to work on it, the season previous to that. So those things. And then your health is so tied to it, to you being consistent with working out and thinking about maybe your loved ones or somebody in your mind, or even what you would desire to look like. And seeing that every time you're working out, you're chipping away at where you are, who you are, to be the better version of yourself. So, and I even have to keep myself motivated. I don't want to just make it seem like sometimes I don't get tired or I don't not feel like working out.
What? It's not 24/7 all day, every day?
No, it's a challenge. There are days that are more challenging than others, but when you get into a routine and a real level of consistency, it's not so much about how you feel. So if I could challenge everybody for that, I would say don't be so concerned about how you feel. Um, Feelings will follow your actions. So, in other words, if you start moving, you'll feel like it after you start moving. Start moving first. Don't be so concerned whether if you feel like it or not.
Okay. If I want a personal trainer and I can't afford a personal trainer 7 days a week,
hmm
what is the bare minimum that you would recommend if somebody wants to get, hooked up with a personal trainer?
Yeah, so there's several ways to go about that. In one area, I would say I would try group exercise classes. And there are classes that are not associated with a gym or with that. You just find a set of people who like working out together. And so I would try to find those individuals.
Yeah. I've seen people that do that out in the sun, in the heat,
hmm
and early in the morning. So I guess the old saying is if there's a will, there's
There's
a
a
way.
way. Yeah,
All right.
definitely. Definitely.
So, any other tips before we wrap up that you can think of, tools, things that people may have at home? We've definitely talked about the chair. I think we're all guilty of having a chair at home, and I think we can all fit, a gallon of water in our budget. Or if there's some other resources that you might want to share, just in case.
Yeah, there's one other resource that most personal trainers not going to tell you or not even say, but I'm going to say it because I just love y'all that much. Um, Yard work. Do not think that yard work is not a level of fitness, whether it be gardening, which you would think to yourself, oh, gardening isn't that hard. I'm just pulling some weed. It's a lot more challenging than probably what you would think if you said you're going to take a flower bed, clean it out. And I'm saying doing everything by hand, pulling all the weeds out, getting on your knees, um, raking things out, putting things in bags. That's a lot more challenging than what it sounds like. And it's actually a level of fitness while you're doing it. So yard work, gardening, cutting grass, things of that nature. Those are things that you can improve your outside in your environment, and that not only would it not cost you something, but it actually helps you to do it. So that'll be the other secret tip I give you.
I actually like that tip because not only can it help you, improve your personal fitness and not cost you anything, that could be a tip that you can put money back in your budget because if you're paying somebody to come and cut that grass or to pull those weeds,
Correct.
right, then now you've kind of accomplished two goals for one thing.
Right, right. And I think it's something that goes unseen and unknown. Some people pay somebody to do that type of work, and in their mind, they go to work, come back, the grass is cut, but they don't realize the work that it took for the person to do that. And some of that we could be doing ourselves, and that will help at least get you started, get you used to being outside. Believe it or not, I talked about the squatting, but if you have to get on your knees and standing back up to squat to put trash in a bag, you're squatting. If you have to get on your knees to pull and to pull brakes or different things out, you're working your back, you're working your shoulders, you're working your arms. So gardening and yard work is a tremendous way to at least start on that journey.
And what other thing I want to circle back to? I know you mentioned, you definitely we can go walk in our neighborhoods and our parks.
Mhm.
Can you speak a little bit to some of our rec parks that may even have the free equipment there?
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up. That is a tremendous resource that you all can use. I've used them, even with some of the people I work out with who might not have gym memberships. But the different parks, there are walk parks all throughout East Baton Rouge Parish. If you're near here, not sure where everybody's watching from, but some of those parks have a set of fitness equipment. And so as you walk around the different park, you'll see their different exercise equipment as well as directions to show you how to use them. And so those are really simple things you can use, and they don't cost you anything because we've already paid for it, through our through East Baton Rouge Parish and through the work that's being done by Breck. So I think that that's something tremendously easy for you to use and something that's open and that you can use even today.
And so what I think we'll need to do next, right? Because if somebody's still looking at a berry saying, but I don't know if I'm doing it right, I don't know how to use this equipment, I think what we'll need to do is go ahead and take a little trip to Breck. You think he'll come with me? And then
Yes.
we can do a little video and show you how to do it. So he mentioned definitely there's some YouTube videos out there, but we'll get our expert here to come and show us,
Yes.
show me. We'll grab some more neighbors, people. That way we can all be accountable. So
Sure.
any final words?
No final words. I would just say be encouraged and try to make sure that you're really stepping out there and trying. So after trying for a few weeks and then the cold weather comes and then you step back and say it's not the right time, it's always the right time. Start where you are, when you can, do something, move.
I love it. Do you want to take a moment and just share your personal information just in case somebody wants to reach out and say, hey, I'm going to stop going to Starbucks, save that $7, and maybe I can get a personal trainer for a day or two?
Yeah. So even if you wanted to try me, you're welcome to do that. I'll be more than willing to help you. My name is Keldric Emery. I'm on Instagram at eKeldric. You can find me there or either on Facebook. You just look up Keldric. So there and any other information, you could also reach me, email me if you needed to, and that's eKeldric again. I'm at cox.net. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Emery. I've enjoyed this session. Now I'm accountable because, again, I've got a chair. We'll have you come back and see if I used it. And then, of course, if you out there used it as well.
Yeah.
It's time for Blueprint Building Blocks. Small changes that lead to big financial wins. Let's stack up for success.
Move before you buy. First, commit to free workouts for 30 days before even spending $1. Use your environment. You have your home, your neighborhood, your park. All of these are free resources. And then start small. 10 minutes is better than no minutes at all, and then build up. And then track your progress, not perfection. Consistency wins.
That's a wrap on today's Blueprint Building Blocks. Stay on track with your financial journey. Subscribe to the Money Matters podcast and visit neighborsfcu.org/financial wellness for more tools to help you build a strong financial future.